Hi, Algebra 2 students. I wanted to go over and do a problem so that you know how to do homework 17. So you don't have to do the bottom part, and notice that we've asked you to skip number 19, which is on the back. So the first thing you want to do is describe the transformation. And this is the transformation they want you to describe, right? So isn't that a horizontal trans left 2 units? And then doesn't that mean we're going to substitute x plus 2 in place of that x? And we'll call it g of x as our final answer. It doesn't really matter. And this is what your work should look like, right? And your final answer should always be simplified. And that's your final answer. So that's how you do these problems. Don't forget to show your work, and don't forget to check your answers. Now let me show you something else. Here is problem number 7 on the extra credit. Remember, you were supposed to do this on paper. The first thing you were supposed to do was a vertical stretch by a factor of 3. So you were supposed to show me your notation. And this is what you're going to have to do on the test. So you might have had the right answer, but if you're not showing the right work, we're not going to give you credit. And these are worth a lot of points on the test coming up. So don't we have to multiply 3 times the entire function? So the function was absolute value 5x plus 2 minus 7, make those. And then you actually have to do it. So you have to do them one at a time. That's the first thing you have to do. And therefore you have to distribute that 3. And that leaves you with 3 times the absolute value 5x plus 2 minus 21. You have to simplify from here to here. And then we can work on the next step, which is to reflect in the y-axis. And you must show those bullets. So reflect on the y-axis is this notation, and then we're going to perform it where we left off. So that means we're going to take out the x and put a negative x in place of where the x is. So that would be and then your final answer is going to be g of x equals 3. 5 times negative x is negative 5x plus 2 minus 21. See, it matches that answer. No spaces. There's absolute value bars on your keyboard. They're up on the right-hand side. Up there somewhere it's on your keyboard. You have to show them one step at a time in the way it was written. So this is the red one you have to do first. The green one you have to do second. You have to simplify before you go to the next step, and you must show your bullets. That's part of the credit we're giving you for showing all your work. Okay, and let's go to one more thing. Okay, so remember a vertical stretch, it's always a stretch when the factor is bigger than 1, and when the factor is between 0 and 1, then it is a shrink. So here we have a problem. So we have 0.25 is being multiplied. So when a factor means something that's being multiplied can be called a factor. So since we're multiplying 0.25 to the absolute value, then 0.25 is called a factor, and it's outside the function. Therefore, it is a vertical, and 0.25 is the factor. So that's what you're multiplying by. So the factor is what you're multiplying by. And because that is between 0 and 1, therefore it is a shrink. So this is a vertical shrink by a factor of 0.25. On this particular problem, again, you first have to decide whether it is vertical or horizontal. The factor, which is what's being multiplied, so 3 is being multiplied to x, so that is called the factor. It is inside, so it is horizontal because it's inside, but 3 is actually not the factor. So remember, when it's in the factor, what you're multiplying by is inside. That factor is not 3, it's the reciprocal of 3, so it's 1/3. And don't type the negative. The negative's not part of the factor. Remember, the negative, that is a reflection in the y-axis. So if you type the negative there, it'll mark you wrong. So it's just the reciprocal of 3, which is 1/3, and that's what you want to type in. And therefore, since 1/3 is between 0 and 1, that means it's a shrink. So it's a horizontal shrink or stretch. First, you have to determine what the factor is. The factor is a reciprocal of 3, which is 1/3. And since 1/3 is between 0 and 1, it's a shrink. Is the factor inside or outside? So what are we multiplying by? Remember, factor is just a fancy word for what you're multiplying by. So 3 times 4, 3 and 4 are called factors. So 1.25 is what you're multiplying by, and it's outside, so it's vertical. And do not say negative 1.25, because remember, the negative is a reflection in the x-axis, because it's outside, so don't type in the negative. So the factor is just 1.25, which is bigger than 1, therefore it is a stretch. So it's a vertical stretch by a factor of 1.25. What you're multiplying by is 5/7. It is inside, so it's horizontal. But since it's inside, then it comes out as its reciprocal, so you have to flip it. And 7/5 is bigger than 1, therefore it is a stretch. So it's a horizontal stretch by a factor of 7/5. I'm going to re-give you the quiz, so you can have a retake on the quiz on transformations, and to try to get 25 out of 25. And it'll take the highest grade, so even if you do worse, it'll keep your higher score. And we'll probably do that Thursday. So remember, go look at the flashcards. I'll move the flashcards to this week. But they were also on last week, where you can print them out, or you can do Quizlet, which are online flashcards. But I'll print out the paper PDF flashcards, or I'll post them. And then you guys can print them out, and you'd have to print them back to back so that you have the answers, or print them on separate papers and then glue them back to back so you can cut them out and get flashcards. But practice those so that you can get 25 out of 25 on your quiz. Okay? All right. Have a good day.